Hello and welcome to Amethyst Style Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today we are looking at Celebration again. Celebration, really great time of the year till the 31st of March. For every £45 that you spend, you can get a free product. Now, there are two categories in this. There's an option, or there's a 1 and there's a 2. So all of these stamps here, the lovely ribbon, papers, embellishments, wooden embellishments, lovely stamp sets, are all free with a £45 or €60 spend. And then right at the back, they always do a couple of step-up ones. So for £90, you can get a whole set of dies. And this coordinates with the Tea Together, which is in the Spring-Summer catalogue. So if you wanted the stamp set and the coordinating dies for a £90 spend, you can get that. And then there's a really large stamp set with this beautiful lilies and things in there. But it's lovely to be able to get something for free. So one of my absolute favourites, as you know, and whenever I get any stamp set, I am somebody who will use it and use it and use it. I don't buy things that I'm not going to use. So this one, By the Bay, which is on page 10, is absolutely lovely, and that's the one we're going to look at today. Now, I know I've done quite a few different ideas for you, and the little seashell is quite a small stamp. And can get easily missed and not looked at quite as much. So we're going to work on this little one here today. And I've got some ideas for you on this that I think will work quite well. So we're going to put this on a small block so it actually fits on our little A block. And we are going to create a border with this. This is something that you can use for a topper. You can use as a centerpiece for a card, but it just works really beautifully. So we're going to ink it up, and then I need a piece of copy paper just to protect my work surface. Rather bright sort of pink colour, but that will work. Let me turn it over that way so that it's not bent up too much. Okay. So let me make sure that I've got this up the right way. Okay, ink it up. And we are going to stamp and then just line it up. And it's quite a nice stamp because the C bits around the shell actually link in together quite nicely. So we're just going to stamp it all the way down, and you can do this on as large or as small a piece as you want. I'm doing it on literally just a piece that was over, and I'll show you why, because you can then cut it down using stitch shape framelets, using any sort of die shape that you want. And you then have a lovely panel piece. So let's just take it right the way down. And as you can see, I'm not lining it up or spending a huge amount of time lining it up, because it literally just lines up as you go. Okay, so then you have a lovely panel with this, which I think is rather nice. Okay, so let's put that on there. And we are then going to get some colours. Now, I am going to try and put this on something a little bit darker so that you can see it a little bit more clearly. So hold on, I've got another piece of scrap here which is sort of purpley, so that's going to show a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm taking two colours, Pool Party for the water and the lovely powder pink for the shells. And let me I'm going to take this block off. I will clean it again. Now, a great way of colouring is, there's two ways. You can either do it with our aqua painters, come in a set of two, fill them up with water and then paint that way. or you can use Wink of Stella. Now, what I do is, when my Wink of Stella is finished, I add a few drops of the Frost White shimmer paint, and then just fill it up with a little bit of tap water. You can use alcohol if you want to, but tap water is absolutely fine for this because it works as a watercolour pencil. And then if you take your block and you literally just press it into your ink pad, you will get a little palette of colour. So we're just going to do a small section of this so you can see what I'm talking about. And if you just take with the aqua painter, with the shimmer paint, and we are just going to colour in the seashell. Okay, so you can just mix up the paint, pick it up, and you will get a lovely little sort of shimmeriness to this, which makes a really pretty background. Now, I'm just using this on standard Whisper White. As long as you don't saturate it, it's absolutely fine. You can use our shimmer paper. You can use watercolour paper. You can use anything you really want, but there's no reason why you can't just use our normal Whisper White cardstock. Okay, so you can see you're getting this lovely little bit of pink on the seashells. And again, if you need some more, because it's quite a pale colour, what I do is just wipe it first, because then you won't get the shimmer onto your ink pad. And then again, literally just tap it across, pick it up, and you've got some more ink on there. And again, just pick it up with the brush of the shimmer paint, and you can just take it through like this. And it just gives just a lovely little bit of sparkle on there. So, as I say, I always use, they're quite easy to take apart actually. There's just like a little bung in there, and you can then fill it up with the shimmer paint, and it just gives that little bit of sparkle. Just a couple of drops, you don't need a huge amount. So, right, I'm just going to take it probably just down to the next one, like that. And then you have your lovely seashells. Okay, so now we are going to use the pool party. So let me just take that one back. And so we're going to do exactly the same thing with the pool party. Let me just clean this off so that it's clean again. And it doesn't matter what style of ink pads you've got. I've got a complete mixture. So I've got the foam ones. This one actually is even one of the fabric ones, because all of the colours work together. We've got our new ink pads in as well, so you really don't need to change your ink pads over all at the same time. Just do it when you need a new colour. So with the new colours, I've got some of the new ones. I'm just going to get just a little bit of water in on here because I've just dried it off. Give it a little bit of a squeeze. Whoops, oh, that's good. Lots of shimmer on that bit. Right, so mix that in, and we are then literally just going to, and this is probably just a little bit wet, but never mind, it'll work, and just take that through over the background where the shells are. And as you can see, you've got this lovely bit of sort of sparkliness coming through, and it's very easy to do because all you're doing is just washing it through. And it doesn't take a huge amount of time. So just wash it through as much as you want. You can go back and add more colour in if you want to. But again, you don't want to saturate the paper. And I've probably got about as much water or as much sparkle as I can possibly get on this. But as I say, it's just going to give such a lovely background that I'm not overly worried. Let's take it down just to where we have got it. And you can use whatever colours you want. I wanted this to be sort of quite subtle and muted because I quite like pastel colours. We're coming into sort of springtime, hopefully soon. And obviously with spring comes all the lovely pastel colours. So I think that this just works beautifully. Okay, so that would be what you do with that. And as I say, you can use our aqua painter to do this. If you don't have an aqua painter, you can just use a paintbrush and a little bit of water, because our ink pads, you can pick up the colour all the time from there. And as I say, I just wipe it off with a cloth and then we'll wash them off later. So you can see with this, you now have a beautiful background and all of the shells are showing, and you've got quite a lot of sparkle on there as well. So what are we going to do with this piece? Well, let me show you. What I did as well was I took one of these little images. Let's take it back in again. As I say, I haven't cleaned this one, but if you just stamp one out on a piece, and I did a couple on a piece of scrap paper, literally just any little bit that you've got at the end, because it's a small image, it's quite good to do that. And if you just stamp it out like that, and then let me put that there, and then you're going to colour it in and just fussy cut round that little shape. You then have a few which will add a bit of extra dimension. So let me show you what I actually did as a finished topper for this. So you can see on here I have cut out 2 of the little shells, and they will fit into the little spaces. So I just did this with the stitch shape framelits and coordinated it with the pool party. Took the thank you, because there's some lovely sentiments here. So you've got thinking of you, thank you, and then obviously for the cottage, may all your paths lead to happiness. So the thank you, because it's nice and small, you can put that in with dimensionals as well, and you've got a lovely little piece that you can put as the centre. So let me show you what just the idea that I did, and I have used a just a card front. I've embossed that with the tin tile. I've taken a piece of the pool party just as a banner down, and this is a very old retard piece, but it was water, so I thought that might look quite nice down on the centre. And then you'd put your topper piece in there, and then you have a beautiful card. But you can do really whatever you want with this. It's really just a way of being able to show this absolutely lovely background with the shells, and by doing it a few more times you have a larger piece. So if you wanted to do a whole piece to cover as a background piece for the card, you can see you can do that quite easily. So a lovely way of using the By the Bay and making something out of the tiny little seashell, which just brings it out a bit more because it's quite a small one. So thank you so much for watching me, and do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.